Hey, Jason here. Unity's back with their flash deals, and this time they've got 300 assets at 70% off, and then they drop down to 60% and 50% off if you don't catch them within the first 24 hours. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, including 100 tools, though. So I went through all of them day by day, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of what the best things are for day 1 all the way through day 13, and somewhere along there, I'll give you the best asset of the entire sale, which I definitely recommend you get, and it's really, really cheap. Before we get started, if you'd like to see more of these, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you've got requests for a type of video that you'd like to see, drop them in the comments. I'm taking requests and trying to get to them as quick as possible. The first day of the sale, they're coming out strong with some really big packs like the UMA RPG Ultra Bundle Pack, UMMO RPG Unistorm, which has always been one of my favorites, and the Atavism On-Premise. If you're looking at building an MMO, day 1 is definitely it for you. But my favorite asset of the day is Eddie's Vehicle Physics, which gives you a realistic car controller where you just add throttle, add some steering values, and it drives like a normal car would with all of the effects. I've used this multiple times in the past, and I always recommend it when people want to build something with cars. Day 2 starts out with some really neat art like this fantasy stylized elemental that I really like and the ultimate FPS weapons that I've used multiple times. But then there's a lot of tools in there like the AI trees, behavior tree. If you need AI for your NPCs, it's a good way to go. And there's also a survival template in there if you want to build out a survival game. But the thing that I was most excited about is actually Runtime Editor. This lets you put an editor in your game so your players can do a lot of really cool stuff like customize the game or things that you would expect to see in a lot of modern games nowadays. You want them to be able to build out a level, place things down, write their own scripts even, add animations. You can do that all with this Runtime Animator. It looks really powerful. I have to be honest, I haven't tried it out yet, but I've got it in my cart for when it goes on sale because it looks really cool and I can get a lot of ideas here to play around with it. Now, if you need environments, make sure you check out day 3. There's the Fantastic Village Pack, an Ultimate Horror Area, Japan Village. There's also the Nature Worlds Bundle, the Fantasy Castle Environment, and of course my favorite, the Nature Manufacture Lava and Volcano Pack. If you haven't seen this thing before, it's amazing. You get great realistic lava and volcanoes, and it also matches up great with their new cave and dungeon system. Day 4 starts off with a great big creature pack from Protofactor. I've used a bunch of their stuff before. They're amazing and I really love them at 70% off. It's hard to pass up. But there's also a cool exporter for Unreal to Unity if you've got a bunch of Unreal assets and you want to convert them over. And there's the Microsplat Terrain Collection. I talked about Microsplat recently. Very interesting if you want to build out big, unique terrains and you don't want to just procedurally generate them but want to hand build them. One of the ones I really wanted to call out though was Mesh Slicer. I've used this a bunch of times. I can barely say the word, but I've used it a bunch of times in different games. It allows you to chop things up either at edit time or run time, which is really fun. It's easy to use and just adds for really cool effects. And the last thing I wanted to call out was the Hovel Studios RPG VFX bundle. They just make really cool looking visual effects and particle effects. And I'm even using these ones, well, not these ones, but other Hovel ones in my own game. In fact, I'm probably going to grab these and put these in there as well. Day 5 has some interesting art and tools. There's a Neon City and a platformer, 2 total opposites, this advanced character controller from Breeze, and then a paint in editor asset to allow you to do some painting in the editor. I haven't tried out Shape E text to 3D, but that also seems kind of interesting. The ones that really stood out to me, though, are the Connect Map Global Edition 2. Again, I've got this weird thing with map games. I just feel like I need to make something. If you got a good idea for a map game, drop it in the comments. Maybe I'll build it when I get some time. And then the other one was this High Road engine that came highly recommended by one of my students in the multiplayer mastery course. I grabbed it and I'm ready to check it out and kind of play around. It looks really fun, though. Now, of all the days, day 6 is probably the least exciting for me, but there are a couple things in here that I still think are really cool, like this World Map Strategy Kit. Again, I've got to do something with maps. And the Toon People Kit. I like the Toon Dogs Kit, where they're like people that look like dogs. The Toon People one seems to match, and I feel like I've got to make like a little cartoon or something with those sometime soon. Now, other than that, there's some art, a bunch of different art packs in here, but nothing else that really stood out that was like super exciting for me personally. If there was something in 6 though that you think is awesome that everybody should know about, I'm probably missing it. Drop a comment down below and let us know. I don't want to miss out on some really cool tool or art asset just because I haven't been exposed to it yet. Day 7 has a lot of characters and art. I'm a big fan of the RPG Monster Bundle, but I also really like the Malber's characters like the Unka the Dragon. I think that's how you say that. And then there's also the RPG Tiny Heroes, and this is kind of my style of characters and things that I like to see. I really like those cartoony ones. There's also a turn-based strategy framework that I've used before that was pretty cool, and a motocross physics that I kind of want to check out, but I'm not sure what I would do with it. Does sound kind of neat though. If you were wondering where the AI stuff was, so day 8 is, I think, the first place that you see any with the dialogue system add-on for OpenAI. This lets you use the OpenAI setup with dialogue system for Unity and generate out dialogues just by giving it a little prompt. It's really cool and builds out the whole tree. I've used it a couple times and I really liked it. They also have Gaia in here though, which kind of is AI. It's procedural generation of full worlds, and it's a very powerful tool that's been around for a long time and people have been loving it forever. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Get it while it's really, really cheap. I guess 70% off of $50. Seems like a great deal. Oh yeah, and there's also cats if you happen to like cats. All right, now before we go on to day 9, really quickly, has anybody used a simple traffic system or train controller? They both look kind of interesting, but I haven't checked them out. So if you have used them and would recommend them or wouldn't, drop a comment and let me know. Day 9 has clouds, a factory, and some women's clothes, I guess. But my personal favorite for the day is the game modules pack. If you want to build a game and have a whole bunch of systems all built into one, the Infinity PBR / Magic Pig Games game module setup does a lot of that for you. Makes it easy to start building your game without having to write all of the code. And if you want to watch and learn how it's all put together, it does a lot of it up on YouTube, so you can actually go through and see how it all works, and he answers questions in Discord. There's a lot of other really cool ones on here, the Aurora FPS engine, and some, like I said, lots of interesting art. But if you're looking for tools, game modules is the one that I would recommend. The 10th day of flash sales has a variety of different stuff. There's some nature packs, an FPS controller, a culling system if you need some performance, and a character if you need something to put those women's clothing outfits onto, I guess. A flow canvas with flow canvas, and not a flow canvas, but flow canvas, which is a scripting or visual scripting tool, kind of like Unreal's Blueprints, if you want to do something like that and don't want to use the built-in one. I haven't tried it out, but if anybody recommends it, it looks like it's highly loved. So if people like it over the visual scripting, let me know why in the comments. I'd love to know what's special about it. And then the Cartoon Characters Mega Pack. This is the one that I'm excited about because, again, I really like weird cartoon characters. It's just kind of my thing. All right, we're at day 11. Now, if you're still here with me, hit the thumbs up button, please, and just drop a comment. Let me know what your favorite asset has been so far, or if I missed it and scrolled by it, let me know what that was down below. But on day 11, we've got some interesting ones for sure. There's Mega Shapes, which I haven't tried, but it looks kind of cool. I've got to come up with like a neat kids game for that. The Fantasy Icons Mega Pack that I've been using for I don't know how many years, and the Medieval Kingdom UI that I've put into a couple different games. The ones that I wanted to call out, though, were the Universal Fighting Engine, because it's 70% off. It's a good savings. And if you want to build a fighting game, it's I'd say the most recommended way that I know of to build a fighting game in Unity. And then I also, of course, wanted to call out the Infinity PBR Low Poly Monster Bundle. I use this in my own game stuff a lot of the time because they're nice low poly characters. It's a big variety with a lot of color and colors, animations, and blend trees. They're all those Infinity PBR characters, but just low poly versions of them all. On the 12th day, they go back to a bunch of RPG environments and a couple other big packs. There's Atavism X9, and please somebody remind me the difference between X1 and X9. I can't keep track. There's also a modular FPS pack that looks pretty interesting if you want to build out an FPS, the multiplayer game, and aren't sure how to get started, or check out the multiplayer mastery course in the description as well. But there were also some other interesting packs, like this Polygon Western one, like I said, kind of old school environments, the sci-fi platforms. I guess maybe they're not all fantasy. There's fantasy and a big mix of other stuff. I guess you even got some modern guns in here and another Infinity PBR pack, that medieval town. I've used that a couple times myself. Now, if you've been waiting for my number one pick of the sale, well, we're here on day 13, and it's the Editor Enhancers bundle. I recently found out about VTabs, and I've been using it obsessively, did a full video about it, and I've been considering checking out all of the other enhancements, and now that they're going into this sale, I'm definitely going to grab it. VTabs made it really easy for me to just turn anything into a tab, like a folder or an object, and I'm really curious to see what all of these other ones are going to do. And there were some other really cool packs in here. The spell effects packs look really interesting. Mesh Combined Studio I've used multiple times to just speed up game development, or speed up my performance without having to do extra game development, I should say. And then the Proto Factor packs are always amazing. They're huge, they're big, and they're full of like lots of crazy great monsters and creatures that you can use in your games. Now, for the final day of the flash sale, the only thing I can think of that I've actually used is the top-down caves from Manufacturer K4. They have really cool looking stuff if you like that style of environments and stuff. They do require built-in render pipeline, though, from what I remember. And then Liquid Volume 2 also looked really interesting. I've talked to a lot of people who want to know how to do Liquid stuff, and that seems like a good option. And Connect is always a very, very popular asset maker. The other things on there, the GUI Pro Bundle, that's probably the only one that I can think of that I've actually used, and I use it all the time. I love the casual one, the fantasy one, and the sci-fi one, and they're all included at the 75% off. Now, that's the end of the flash sale. If you're going to grab something, make sure that you check it out by using the link in the description below. And if you do get something, or you think that I should have recommended something, drop a comment down below and let me know what you got or what you think I should have mentioned. I'm sure I missed a couple things. There's lots of really good stuff out there, and I certainly don't know about it all. All right, see you in the next video. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.